What's up, everybody, and welcome to this week's What's on Kickstarter. Today we're going to be checking out some of the great, good, and not so good decks recently released on the platform, as well as some really fun campaigns that Steve and I always like checking out on Kickstarter.
Dude, I'm pretty excited. Just as we expected, things are kind of dwindling down now.
Yeah, we're getting up to that kind of holiday spending time. We're starting to see campaigns dip off. The one good thing that I'm really excited about, though, is the majority of the campaigns this week were great campaigns, which really makes me happy. So
yeah. Oh, I'm excited.
Dude, it's going to be a really interesting one. You ready to jump into it?
Good.
Let's do it. So, coming in for this week's first great campaign, we have the Exploration playing cards with Augmented Reality from JasonCheng, aka Deck Idea. So, I gotta say, Jason always puts together a really great campaign. Not only does he do a phenomenal job marketing his campaigns ahead of time, but I really think he knows how to build out a story and make it an exciting campaign.
Yeah, I mean, dude, he's so creative.
He really is. This deck has been teased for a while, tying in the augmented reality with the playing cards. It's really kind of a fun little gimmicky catch to the deck itself, but it enhances the beautiful artwork on this thing so much.
I'd be curious to see if cardists, pick this deck up as, they can kind of do some funky stuff video-wise.
Yeah, it would be really interesting to see how that would play out. Diving right into it, we can see that Jason goes right into a really fun story here, talking about exploring the worlds as a way of pushing boundaries and talking about how that ties into the augmented reality. We get some great visuals on the deck from the jump, and I have to say, one of the things that Jason does phenomenal is his renders. He always does really great renders for his campaigns. As you can see here, they almost look lifelike.
Yeah, I don't know what the pinecone means, but I don't know if these are actually renders or actual images. Obviously, he does such a great job, but he does have prototypes.
Yeah,
so
I think
don't
this
even know
gilded
if
one
these
here
are...
would be a render. That's the only reason I would lean towards that.
Yeah, he is very good at renders. You don't know if they are real or fake, that's for sure.
Yes. So, and like even this here looks to be like a render probably.
Yeah, that does look like one.
But with that in mind, he does a phenomenal job building that out, and very often he has renders that end up looking like the end product, which I think is really great.
Yeah.
Getting into it, he talks a little bit about the augmented reality portion of the story, tying it into the app that will allow you to do some really fun kind of visual things with this deck of cards, and we can even see there's a little video here with the augmented reality showing off there and how that looks in motion as a cardist.
So cool.
Dude, really, really cool idea here. I love seeing that innovation with a great deck of cards.
Yeah, I mean, you never know what's going to come next, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we can see there's some really interesting artwork on this. It's got kind of a very geometric, simple design to it, but I love the color scheme that he picked with this. It really pops nicely. I would like to see the story itself kind of tie through a little bit more between the pictures here to break up the flow a little bit, make it a little more organic, but otherwise this is really looking like a great campaign so far.
Yeah, now is it just the two decks, the gilded and non-gilded?
It does look to be just the two decks, which I think for something as ambitious as an AR-related deck is not a bad idea. Keeping it as simple as possible. We get some great views of the court cards here. But I think it makes a lot of sense if he is going that route, to keep it as simple as possible.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Nice look at the collector's box there as well, which I think really resonates with the tuck. Really matches the style nicely. Then we see a little bit around the blue gilded edition here.
That blue is nice.
Yeah, dude, it looks really good. The one thing I would say here, too, is for the add-on section, it always helps to make it a little more than just text. Throw a little bit of visuals there, add the price into it as well. It just makes it a little bit more of a one-stop shop for that information. And we can see some of Jason's previous decks here, which are available as add-ons, which I always think is a great idea. If you have previous created decks or goods in general, it always helps to really put it on that campaign and help sell more of that previous campaign.
Yeah, great.
Got some nice deck cuts there. And then we get into the quality and the fulfillment here. So it looks to be printed by Chen, which I do believe was mentioned further up. And then fulfillment is going to be handled by Murphy's Magic. The one thing I would like to see in this campaign is just a feature section to kind of reiterate those facts a little bit farther up. Make it all consolidated in one section. But otherwise, the information is there. And this thing looks great for sure.
Yeah, maybe just add the little icons in there too.
Yeah.
The little logos.
And then price point wise, we are looking at $19 shipped. which for a deck that brings,
Awesome.
you know, augmented reality to the scene, that's pretty exciting right there.
Yeah, for sure.
And
He always has great prices.
he really does. I'm really excited to see this one kind of, obviously it's already fun, but excited to see this one come to life and see how it kind of helps evolve the industry as a whole.
Yeah, good luck.
Good luck. So this is actually an interesting one. We have no good campaigns this week, so we're going to be rolling right into that needs help campaign. I think it may be, well, so it's not necessarily a first. We had that one week where we only had great campaigns, but this is the first week where we've tried to do all three and we've only had 2 of the 3. So that is a first in and of itself. But really interested to see what this needs help campaign is. But before we jump into it, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel.
And please ring the bell.
So coming in for this week's first needs help campaign, we have the Another Round Cocktail Card Deck by Brianne Aubrey. So this is actually a really interesting deck. It has kind of that hops and barley-esque feel from Yokyu, showing off that brownish paper with the copper foil there. But I have to say, as much as this thing is eye-catching based on the images, there really is no information here. We see a little bit around the stretch goals. There's a little bit of a story, but I'm not sure who's going to be printing or fulfilling this deck, which to me, for something as ambitious as this, can be a very big deterrent from backing the campaign.
Yeah, interesting. How much is it?
We are looking at 23 shipped. So even on the price point, it's a little bit higher than I'd like to see for something that we don't really see the cards. They look to be relatively standard cards. So with a little bit...
There's actually 2 decks.
Yeah, look at that. Oh,
There's
yeah,
a
so
red
the red
too,
is
so
the stretch goal. They mentioned that the red is the stretch goal at 20,000, so...
Because if you look over at the right, it's right below in that next tier. On the next tier. Go right. And then go down. Right there. Red
Interesting.
Deck. So it must not be a stretch goal.
Which is very interesting, because the other thing I'll say about this is if the goal is reached, we will be printing with well-known company Legends. So good to know. At least we know who's printing. But there's a lot of open questions here still. So again, who's going to be fulfilling? Is that red deck a stretch goal? It seems like a lot of this was kind of haphazardly thrown together, and I think the deck itself probably has a lot of potential. I think people who are into bartending or into card collecting, who also like, you know, old fashions and drinks like that, are going to get a kick out of this. It's a very collectors-oriented deck, but without having all the information there and without really being solidified as to what the information is, it definitely needs help to get this to a level that's going to actually help this fulfill.
Yeah, what's the goal?
The goal is 8,000. So not bad for a single deck. Should they actually be going for both decks from the jump, contrary to the mention of the stretch goal, but in line with what you see as the tiers, that 8,000 is going to go very quick. And the interesting thing about it too, you can see here 2 red decks.
I think that's just tier 2.
So if you take a look, so here's how they deal with that. In the case that the stretch goal is not reached, choosing this tier will result in the purchase of 1 standard black deck with 1 booklet rather than the 1 red deck and 1 booklet. So this ends up being very complicated from the fulfillment side of things.
It's deceiving.
Yeah, so this is tough because at the end of the day, should this actually fund, you're going to have a disaster of a backer report that you're going to have to filter through depending on whether you hit that stretch goal or not. The best way to go for this is turn that red deck into an add-on that unlocks when you hit a stretch goal. That would make this a lot cleaner across the board so that you don't have to worry about adding in tiers that don't really go anywhere. Also, I'd say the tiers just need to be built out a lot more as well, because 1 black deck, 2 red deck, 3, 4, 5, 6, like, there's not a lot of description to it. You want to be letting people know what they're actually getting. 6 deck. Which deck are you getting? There's a mention of the red one above. The black, we're a little bit better off now with the stretch goal, but I think there's a lot of potential to actually expand out this whole campaign and make it much more informative and tell a better story and just have a better narrative to it as a whole.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah,
good luck.
Good luck. I'm excited to see how this one plays out, because I think there is a lot of potential, but if it doesn't fund the first time around, bring it back to the drawing board and give it another shot. So, good luck.
Yeah.
And for another great campaign this week, we have the Feel the Music playing cards. So I gotta say, first campaign from RS Playing Cards. Really like the theme behind this. Got some great styling to the deck itself and a really great price point. I love those broken borders and that really clean but musical fan there.
Yeah, it's such a fun
It really
deck.
is, man. I'm excited to see how well this does, because that blue just pops.
Yeah, and that back design, super
Yeah.
detailed. Really
Yeah, I'm
fun.
excited to see how this goes. I love the dual fan on it. I love the style of it. Really greatly put together campaign, great price point, the works. So nicely done. Good luck.
Awesome.
And coming in for another great deck this week, we have the Popcorn and Cola playing cards from Fast Food Playing Cards. So no surprise, this is another great campaign here. This is the 5th and 6th deck in the series by Rich Lee. These are the third campaign that he's launched with it, and honestly, he's done a great job putting together all of these campaigns. So for anyone who backed the ketchup, the mustard, the hot dog, or the fries campaigns, you know that these decks are coming out. They're looking and feeling great, and being a magician and a cardist, Rich really built these out to suit both of those uses, but they have such a fun vibe to them. They almost fit in the collector's world as well a little bit.
Yeah, they're actually they're designed really well. Yeah, something that I would think would be in a movie theater, actually.
Dude, I love this Cola one. I think this one takes it out of the two for me. I love the look of that blue and everything. This is a gorgeous deck. And honestly, the campaign has all the information you need there. Again, I do wish they'd used a little bit of subtitles under the images or thrown a little text in there to help break up the scrolling aspect of it a little bit. But all things considered, that's a minute point in comparison to how well this is built out.
Yeah,
Good luck. And for another great campaign this week, we have the Poison playing cards by Third Way Industries. So again, no surprise here. You can see a big old 22 created there from Giovanni Moroni. So this campaign is actually one of those that I'd probably say falls into the category of templatized for the creator because he's done so many. Giovanni is definitely taking aspects of the new campaign, bringing it over from an old successful campaign, swapping things out, tweaking it as needed. It's not a straight up copy paste, so when you think the word template, don't just think copy paste, but he's taking a known framework and really making it work for the new campaign.
Yeah, he always has, obviously, the information that's needed in there.
You know, he always includes in there. It's interesting, too, because he's actually doing 2 different printers on this deck. So he's doing USPCC for the Aspis and the Kingslayer, and then Legends for the Belladonna, which I think is the smart move there because it looks like there's hollow foil all on the back of that, and Legends hollow foil is just killing it these days. So that's going to be an amazing print right there.
Hey, good luck.
Good luck. And for another great campaign this week, we have the Sickle Playing Cards Arsenal series from Arsenal Playing Cards. So in the past, these campaigns have always been a extension of Riffle Shuffle. With that in mind, this really goes to show that these are great campaigns and also great starting points for people looking to build out a campaign. Riffle Shuffle, Arsenal Playing Cards really knows how to drive as much momentum behind their campaigns as possible. They have all of the important details there, and they really do everything at a exceptional price point for what you're getting.
Yeah, 100%. I guess you can call their template the one to follow.
Yeah, no, I mean, in my mind, if you're really a first-time creator and you don't know what to do on day one, this is a great kind of theory to follow here as to how you want to build out that mixture between images, text, the story, the price point, everything. There are certain aspects of Riffle Shuffle campaigns that not everyone is a fan of sometimes, and it may not be this campaign, but some campaigns they do kind of lock out. There you go. So early access to special event after Kickstarter. There are certain things that in some campaigns they will lock higher rewards based on your reward tier. You don't have to follow these word for word or item for item, but they do give a great picture as to what a great campaign looks like.
Yeah, for sure. Good luck.
Good luck. So I gotta say, Steve, really interesting week. We had 6 new campaigns, 5 of which were great. I was really excited to see that, and I'll tell you, I was really nitpicking to see if any of them straddled that line between good and great to get us one into that good spot. And all of those creators really put time and effort into every single detail of those campaigns to make them great campaigns. So with that in mind, what are you backing this week?
You ready for this?
I am ready.
Sickle,
all right.
Feel the Music, and Exploration from Deck Idea.
Dude, I have to say, I think I'm in the same boat as you. I think those are my 3 go-tos this week, and I'm interested to see how the Poison plays out as well. I actually really like the holographic back design from Legends. That would probably make it onto my list as well. But yeah, this is a big spend week for not a lot of decks and for so close to the holidays. So it's interesting to see how much a great campaign from a well-known designer can really flourish even so close to, the tightly budgeted time of year.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I think if you're one of those big big hitters, it doesn't really matter when you put your campaign up. You're gonna do
As
well.
long as it's not, you know, a week before Christmas, you should be all right. And even then, people stretch, so. But of course, before we jump into the fun campaigns, we always love to hear what you all out there are planning on backing this week, so make sure to drop a comment down below and let us know what deck caught your eye. Obviously, it's getting close to the holidays, so budgets are getting tight, but we still love to hear what decks you're backing. Dude, I gotta say, been some really interesting campaigns this week so far. You ready to get into the fun stuff?
I am always ready.
Dude, I have to say, I think we had a nice little mix of everything this week for the fun stuff. So let's dive into the first one here. My first fun campaign this week is the YEMA Wristmaster Classic Dress Watch Collection. So for anyone who knows me, I am a sucker for a nice watch. Really always love to check these things out on Kickstarter, because I think it's always interesting, more so than anything, to see the design elements they take from well-known brands. So even looking at this first image, you can kind of see this has the shape to some extent of like an Audemars Piguet, kind of makes it a little bit reminiscent there. Some of these aspects of it are very similar to like an Omega watch as well. I love seeing watches innovate, but also borrow from previous successful watches and kind of build that heritage with a watch company. I think in this day and age, there's probably more watch companies than there's ever been in the past. A lot of them are using the same movements, which always makes it interesting as well. But I love seeing a good Kickstarter watch come up.
Dude, I'm gonna be honest with you. 95% of watches look exactly the same to me. The only ones that stand out, right, are the ones that are, you know, we've done a couple of them on Kickstarter. They have these like funky little,
like the Nixie tube watch and everything.
The Nixie tube watches, like, those are the ones that are just blow me away. Whenever I see a normal watch, sometimes I'm like, oh, that's pretty, but it looks like every other.
See, and to me, I think that's part of the subtle beauty of a watch is a watch can go two ways. It can either be nice and utilitarian and no one ever notices it because it is very plain, or it can be very flashy. And so I think that speaks a lot to the personality of the person as well, and the environment they're in as well. Because I think, you know, at the end of the day, you may see people who their everyday watch, you know, you look at a lot of like celebrities and rappers, their everyday watch may be like completely diamond blinged out, but at the same time, they may go to a black tie event and they'll wear a simple, clean black leather band with, you know, silver face watch that probably still costs, you know, an arm and a leg, but at the end of the day is not as eye-catching because of the environment they're in. So
yeah. How much do these bad boys go for?
You are looking at
$450
for the one of the leather band ones here. And the blue face, yeah, about $450 you're looking at.
That's 40% off.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, which is interesting though too, because I think there's a lot of interesting markup in the watch community these days, where you see watches that are retail $1,000, but they're always on sale for $399. And it's like, well, at some point your watch is really just worth $399. Exactly. I think it's interesting to see how, oh, look at this too, in-house caliber. So that's something really interesting to see as well. They're actually making their own movement for this watch, which does set them apart and does kind of justify to some extent that additional cost. A lot of times with more startup watch brands, they'll use ETA movements, which are kind of like, you know, they're across the board movements. Usually you have ETA, there's a couple other small houses that'll sell their movements, and then you have, you know, actual in-house movements. ETA movements are a lot less expensive. You'll see a lot of watches have similar functionality because they're all using the same movement. It's the case and the face that are different. In this case, building your own in-house movement is a pretty big step. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Look at this. Nicely done. I'm excited.
Two guys.
Yeah, dude. I mean, people who like watches really get into it too. And if you're like that fascinated with watches, you go to school with it for it. Like, what else do? You build watches. You're either building them for yourself or for another company. And I think in this day and age, building for yourself makes a lot of sense because there's so much more accessibility across the internet, you know?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, Apple is my watch.
Fair enough, you know?
I don't have a watch, though. I just use my phone.
Dude, fair enough. I never use my phone. I always wear a watch when I go out, and I always use that for my time. I just like it. It's a nice little habit, and, you know, I don't have anything fancy either. I have, like, you know, off Amazon, automatic. Maybe cost me $100, but the thing is bulletproof, and I love it. So, so good luck to the YEMA Wristmaster Classic Dress Watch Collection here. And coming in for another fun campaign this week, we have the Shower Scrubber by Casamera. So this is actually really interesting because I've seen this material used in the past for like shower scrubs, but this is the first one I've seen marketed on Kickstarter. And this, I believe, is made from some sort of like root. And the root degrades over time, so it's 100% plant-based. But I think what makes this one unique is they have the two different sides to it. So they have this honeycomb side, which is a softer scrub side, and on the other side, they have like a, I don't want to say like pumice stone side, but more like exfoliating side of it. But the whole thing is made from plant roots.
Interesting.
Right? Like, I like the idea of this, the fact that it's, oh, there you go. Ingredients: walnut shell, water, cognac, root powder. I'm sure that I said that wrong. Konjac. I don't know how you say it. I'm gonna go with cognac because, you know.
And no BS.
And no BS. But that's what I love about it, dude. It's literally like formed root powder. So it's something in theory that's sustainable. Once it starts to degrade, you toss it. The one thing I have seen with these in the past, they can be a little bit pricey, but we also see that in a lot of areas where you're trying to get more renewable things. You know, you look at like cornstarch straws cost a lot more than a plastic straw, but the environmental impact is definitely worth the added cost, you know?
Yeah, I mean, $10, that's how much it is. That's cheap.
And again, though, it depends on how long it lasts, because if it breaks down after like a week, that could be pricey.
I mean, I don't think, I mean, it's got to be a kind of a breakdown on how long it takes. I can't see it taking a week. Otherwise, they'd probably be very unsuccessful.
So it says how to compost it, but I'm curious what the recommended time to compost it is. I also like the fact that the stretch goals, so you have a charcoal one, they unlock the stretch goal for walnut shells, which gives you the abrasive side of it. They're going to unlock a matcha one, a red clay one, and a peppermint one.
Nice.
So all with different medicinal properties.
Peppermint would be good for like, you know, ringworm and
antiseptic and antimicrobial or antibacterial properties. I'm surprised they don't have like a tea tree one.
Yeah, I mean, peppermint's up there, but yeah.
I'm curious.
I'm surprised they don't kind of combine those two.
Yeah, like I'm still curious as to how long it lasts, and I think that's one of the biggest things there, which I don't see, and I'm curious. Let's see, is it under the FE? There we go. How long does the scrubber last? 45 showers with heavy usage. So, it's about a month and a half, unless you shower twice a day.
So for you, about 4 days. It's about a week for you.
Yeah, I mean, I shower twice a day, usually, if I'm going to the gym regularly. So, yeah, maybe 2.5 weeks. It gets a little pricey. But we've seen it last longer than 60 days during testing, but that really depends on how you use it. So I guess it depends on how gentle or rough you are with it. But, dude...
About $10 a month.
Yeah, which isn't too bad to avoid having to use washcloths and washing them all the time, but also like all those plastic like loofah scrubbers and everything. Yeah, and it's probably a lot more sustainable than like loofah sponges.
Yeah. Now this company Casamera, didn't they have something before that we picked?
Let's see. I don't.
That name
does sound familiar.
Was it the bath
towel? Look at that.
That's what it was.
They're up here for 2 fun campaigns, and we didn't even know it. Good on them, Casamera.
No, dude, I spotted it.
That is funny. That is too funny. We should have known because the styling is so the same.
It looks exactly the same as the towel, that waffle.
Well, now you know. Yeah, I know you wanted that towel. Maybe you can get both. The one thing I'll say, then here is, you know what? Why aren't you selling the bath towel with the campaign?
Dude, add-ons, man. I think they need some more text in here too, some more information.
Yeah, because I don't want to have to go to I feel like going to the FAQ for how long did it last was a little excessive. You could have just put that in here, but dope campaign. I like the idea behind it, and I'm definitely considering that price point based on, the sustainability of it. So good.
Yeah, I mean the cool thing is you could put $10 in and see how it works. If it doesn't work out, you enjoyed your shower for 45 uses.
Or you commit real hard and you get that 24 scrubber one. Save some money there, 58% off retail. So very cool. Nice. Good luck, Casamera. Excited to see how this one goes.
Good luck.
And so
I'm thinking they're gonna come out with a robe next time, that like honeycomb robe.
That would be dope. I would definitely be on board for that one. I love a good bathrobe. So, oh man. And for Steve's First Fun campaign this week, we have the Eilik, a little companion bot with endless fun.
Dude. This thing's awesome.
It is cool.
The coolest thing about this is we both kind of
we were both leaning towards this one. I gotta say, I feel like you who works at your desk all day long would have so much fun with this, but also get so distracted by it.
Yeah, it's funny because you kind of watch it. It's not as interactive as there's another robot that I think we did on here before. I forget the name of it, but this thing, it's interactive enough that you can mess with it a couple times, and if you're mad, you can smack it in the head and it reacts. It's kind of cool. Like, say you flick it and it kind of makes noises and cries or something. But it's just fun. It's something cool that you can have on your desk to kind of maybe break the monotony of work. You can also give it to your kid to play with. It'll probably keep him busy or them busy for a little while.
Yeah, dude, it's definitely interesting. I wonder like how in depth it gets. Like, can you play games with it? Like, imagine its face turned into like tic-tac-toe or something.
You can't do that yet, but they have, there is an app that connects with, Mac or PC that they're constantly updating, and it's about $110 for the early bird. But you can link them together and they'll kind of interact with each other. Like they'll have a toast, they might just do little things like noises and stuff like that. It's not super interactive where we'll learn your name and learn different things like that. But, it's just something fun to play with in pastime.
Interesting. I wonder if it's going to end up being like open source so you can kind of build your own stuff to it.
I mean, that'd be dope.
Be really cool, because then I think you have a lot more usability to it as well. You can go beyond just the timers and things like that are included. Also, the idea of buying two of them at $118 a piece seems a little pricey for a desk toy, but one at that price point,
that's 27% off too. Like for me, maybe at $40 it would be worth it for me because it doesn't learn stuff. It just kind of, I guess it's just fun to play with for a little bit, and I think at $118.
That one gets me right there. Left or right? Eilik loves to give you surprise gifts. Guess it's on his left or right hand. That is too funny. Talks, stopwatch, dance to music. Be careful. Eilik sometimes enjoys playing bold with weapons, so be careful. Interesting. Dude, definitely a cool little thing, and it's always fun to see how we're kind of tying robots into everyday life now, especially as desktop toys, Yeah,
no, it's definitely cute. I mean, everybody loves cute little things, and this is just cute.
Always the cutest little thing that ends up getting you in the end, man. So, this
for $120.
This is the beginning of Skynet here. So, oh my gosh. Well, hey, good luck to them. This is such a dope little concept. Excited to see how this does. And for another fun campaign this week, we have the X8 Apex Tire Inflator. Inflate anything, anytime, anywhere. That is a bold claim.
Anywhere.
That is a bold claim, but it looks dope. So, dive into it.
Dude, I have to say, obviously I love gadgets. I think we both love our own type of gadgets. This thing, when I saw it, I fell in love with it for one reason. It's obviously pretty cool to be able to have the opportunity to inflate bike tires or whatever, wherever needed. But, Leslie's car during certain seasons kind of lose, air in her tires pretty frequently.
Yeah.
And, sometimes I have to go out at weird times to fill up her tires. And this will just be very convenient to just walk out of the house and, fill up the tire in a couple minutes.
It looks very portable sized as well. And look at that. It's got a flashlight built into it.
And it's a charger, dude. It's a charger.
You love your chargers. You love your unique chargers that have other things added into it. But, dude, I love the fact that...
That's just a bonus, dude.
It's definitely, very cool. Tire pressure gauge on it. LED light on-off. Tire pressure plus or minus. Large screen. Preset tire pressure automatically stop after fully charged. Outdoor lighting with SOS flashing, so that's great if you have to do it at night. There's some visibility that's added to it as well. Yeah.
The cool thing is you set your tire pressure to whatever you want. Say you want, 40 PSI in your tire. You just set it to that gauge and it just automatically fills up to that and stops.
That's awesome.
So cool. Yeah.
It makes life a lot easier too, so you're not doing it up to trying to hit 40, you get to 42, you let a little out, it gets to 38, you fill it back up to 41.
And you have to keep checking it. You have to keep stopping the air, see what the pressure's at. This one, you just let it go and it fills it right up.
And I think, what's always interesting with these two is that I remember when they first started coming out with these, they'd come out and they were huge. And they were great.
Yeah.
You'd get one, but you had nowhere to put it easily in your car without it being an eyesore. This looks so much smaller, which is nice because most cars somewhere in the trunk have like a lift up that you can put something into that's small enough, whether it be rags or this even. So I'm impressed with the size of this, for real.
Yeah, in one of the videos, they actually show it comparing, you know, the speed of filling up a tire with one of those bigger ones.
Nice.
Yeah.
What are we looking at?
Super cool. It's like 79 bucks.
97 shipped. Still, I mean, you're looking at probably 50, 60 bucks for one of these off Amazon. This thing has a lot of added value to it and seems to have a lot of nice little gadgets built into it as well.
Yeah, I dig it.
Definitely,
I might just
definitely an interesting one. If you did, I wouldn't be surprised. I feel like you would enjoy this thing. I feel like Leslie would enjoy you having this as well. So,
yes, for sure. I'd probably be out there every other week though because she gets nervous.
there you go. Well, you know what? It's simple enough that you could teach her how to use it, and she could check it herself, and you could not even have to worry.
Yeah.
There you go.
We'll see how that goes.
Honestly, she could probably figure this thing out sooner than you or I could anyway. She's
Probably,
technically,
yeah.
she's better at tech than you anyway, so.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Oh my
but
gosh.
She's up there.
Nah, this is really cool. I like this. I like the versatility of this, so. Very nice pick, man. Good luck.
Good luck.
So this was an interesting week, Steve. I gotta say, not a ton of new decks, but I gotta say the ones that were out there were really heavy hitters. As always, we always love to hear what everyone out there is backing this week. So make sure to drop a comment down below. Let us know what decks caught your eye or any other fun campaigns, whether they be board games, tire inflators, little mini robots, or anything under the sun. We always love to hear what you all are backing. So drop a comment right down below.